right? I remember we had another Venkat who worked at Amedisys, and he was, I don't even know if Venkat was like a real human, because he did all the releases. Y'all know, he did all the releases for all the software that we did. It was like one guy. I have no idea how he did that. We didn't have a term for CI/CD back then, but that's what it was, right? So there are things that are coming, right? There are opportunities that are coming. I have no idea what they're going to be called. The one that I'm seeing right now is one of the ones that I was alluding to earlier, right? As people are starting to paint themselves in a corner with a lot of these vibe coded apps, they are looking for people that know how to legitimately build software to help get their project off of their laptop out into the world, right? How to help with the scale. So whatever that is, there's going to be a name, somewhere in the future. I have no idea, but there's going to be more as well.
AI therapist.
AI therapist. All right. So the interesting thing, right, is with AI, what AI is doing now, it is taking over how we write the code, right? Software development is more than just the code. Okay. How many times has one of your business stakeholders, come to you and like, hey, Steve, I want you to. I'll pick on Dwayne. Well, I'll tell a Dwayne story. Dwayne and I are working at Amedisys, and Amedisys is a home healthcare company. And Dwayne and I share this room, and our cubes are right next to each other. We have a sticky note in between our desks, and it says automate timesheets. And we're like, automate timesheets? What are you talking about, automate timesheets? What they wanted this custom built solution that can go out and just automate everybody's timesheets in the company and just do all the finance and accounting things. But that's all we got is a sticky note, right? Like we can't do that, right? We can't work off of that. So Dwayne and I, this is back in the day where Amedisys, where developers did everything. Dwayne and I were the BAs, and we were each other's therapists at the time, right? Talking through this stuff. We were the DBAs, we were developers, we were the testers, and we were all the things. And all the time that we spent more time doing that than the coding. The coding was the easy part, but we had to figure out and understand what the heck they wanted to do. We had to talk to them, to the business owners about the exceptions and the weird edge cases and trying to figure out what we needed to do. We had to decide how we wanted to design these things. We had to make all those choices. Software development is more than just the code. How we code now is different, but software development is still the same. You still need experience writing software, right? It's different. There's a difference between vibe coding an app and using AI to engineer an app. Those are two totally different things. And the interesting thing about that, everyone in the room, if you have experience in a software team or working with software teams, you have such a big advantage over people that don't. Even if you didn't code or not, you could have been a BA just talking to developers and getting these ideas done. You can lean on your experience on how to build software, to use AI to build software. And that experience helps you develop those instincts, right? I just had a conversation with an engineer the other 3 days ago. So at LSU, again, we're selling education, right? And we're selling degree programs. So you have computer science and marketing and underworld of basket weaving and all that kind of stuff. on the back end database, right? There's a code associated with all those different programs. So one of my engineers, they just mentioned in a Jira ticket that we have an item coming in and we're going to change this particular code. And as soon as I saw that we're going to change a code, my spidey senses were tingling. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So I kind of been down this road before, and I'm gonna ask a question. Look, is this program code already in production? I'm like, okay, all right. So you can do that, right? But have we talked to the web dev team that depends on these codes being a certain way? Have you gone through every single system to make sure that you find every instance of this program code? Because maybe this program code has some kind of special case and it's hard coded, somewhere, right? And I'm like, look, normally I don't. Normally I will advise not to do those kind of things. Just leave it. If it's in production and that code is there, you don't want to change that ID, right? And then she started kind of rethinking what she was going on or what she was getting ready to do. But that was built up over time, right? Because I probably changed the code somewhere that messed something up, or one of my teammates did. But that experience, over time building software, those things translate right now. Like that doesn't go away. You still have to have those good instincts. A lot of people talk about taste. Like, what is taste, right? Taste is the ability to consistently make good decisions around software development, right? Another medicine story. I remember I had somebody who was poking fun at me a little bit at the way I was naming my functions, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm writing a method, and this method is calculating a patient health score, whatever, right? The name of my method is going to be calculate patient health score, and it's not going to be CPHS, right? And so taste is, it even goes down to how you're naming your methods. When you're writing your code, is your code written so that it's telling a story? So the next person that comes in 5 years later that's looking at it, can they easily go through and understand what it is that you are trying to do? Taste is choosing the simpler route instead of the complex route. I have I have people who like to do, I call it and one programming. Y'all remember that and one basketball mixtape stuff? And one was, the guys are doing like all the fancy tricks, and I want to pass the ball to Steve, but instead of doing this, I want to do this and turn it back, make a backward flip, and woo, there you go, Steve. No, just hand the ball over to Steve, right? Don't do and one programming, right? So building up taste helps you make decisions like that. All right. So the main takeaway today is AI still needs software discipline, right? The discipline that you built up throughout your entire career, you can't forget about that. Like, you have to use that when you're developing with AI. This is the reason why you're still relevant. You're still going to be relevant because I'm telling you, you've seen a lot of it. A lot of people are thinking they can go to Cursor or Claude Code and just say, "Hey, go build me a mobile app." It's a different day and age, right? When you learn these techniques and learn it right, you learn how to build out skills that the AI is going to follow. Those guardrails is going to make sure that the opinions that you have about how you write code will continue in the software, right? Not because the AI knows it. It doesn't know what you want, but you have to tell it. You have to guide what it is that you want to do. And there are ways and there's techniques to take that software discipline and train the AI to keep it in line. And the more you stick to those principles that you already know, right? Building small components, right? Knowing how to break work down into digestible chunks, being able to write code in a certain way, being able to design things in a certain way, right? The more you can instruct the AI to do that, the better results that you're going to get, from software. And there's a lot of people right now, unfortunately, they're not doing that. They are, throwing stuff to the wind, and they're blaming AI, saying, "Oh, my least favorite phrase now is AI slop," right? It's, they're throwing things to the wind and they're hoping that AI figures it out. Like, no, there's an art and a science to this. Just like there were humans, they were writing crappy code. It's the same exact thing. AI can write crappy code as well. AI can also make incredible code, but you have to know what it is that you're doing. It's not just a license just to do whatever, and you kind of hope and pray that things work out. So yeah, so that is my hot take. Software development is getting bigger, meaning that there are more people that are coding. A year from now, there's going to be more people that are coding. How we code may look different, but there are going to be more people creating software. My 9-year-old can go to Claude and say, all right, Dad, this is what I want you to do. I want you to make me a website to talk about the planets. And I'm like, okay. And I press the microphone button. All right, Rebecca, you go ahead and talk. And she says it. And then Claude builds it. She's writing software, right? It's different. It is different. How we build is going to be different. But software development, those that are writing software development, that number is going to keep increasing. And the last thing I'll say to you is that if you haven't gone down the rabbit hole of AI assisted development, I would definitely encourage you to do that. Even if you decide, you know what, I don't really want to do software development anymore, and you're still a knowledge worker, these tools still apply. Quick example. Steve and I are getting ready for this huge request for a proposal for this huge software project. And this particular exercise had nothing to do with code. We were filling out spreadsheets and getting documents together. But because on the back ends of these things, right, we're just dealing with text, or these things or these Excel spreadsheets can be manipulated with code. We just went to Cursor and we had conversations with Cursor as if we were coding, but hey, I need you to fill out this spreadsheet for me. Here's a brain dump of what we think about this project. Let me ask questions like, tell me, what do you think about this? I want to challenge you here. What do you think I'm missing? We're having conversations back and forth with the AI about this project and what we're going to do. And we're like, okay, well, we don't want to fill out this spreadsheet because this is just dumb. We need you to fill it out. Take everything that we've said in this conversation about these requirements and what we're going to do. I want you to fill out the spreadsheet. It was the most satisfying spreadsheet I've ever worked on because I didn't have to touch a cell. So even if you don't want to do coding, right? Like I said, you're doing knowledge work. These tools, they may be branded for developers, but anybody can use them. If you're working with Excel and Word and PDF and all those kinds of things, you can take advantage of this stuff right now. So that's it. That's all I got. All right. Will anybody have any questions about anything? If I don't know, I won't make something up. I won't hallucinate. Yes, sir.
I have two questions.
Yes.
The first question, did AI make this presentation?
Yes, it did.
I figured. My question is, I guess, it seems like we're pretty much on the edge where like autonomous agents are becoming more of reality, and like you not foresee very soon like the AI can do the business analysis, do the code, test the code, deploy the code, do the security, test the security, make sure it's all all of that end to end, like they're autonomous.
Yeah, that's definitely where where it's going and where people are trying to get there. It's not there yet. It still needs some attention from a human. There's a guy named Steve Yegge, Yegge. If you get a chance, you should look him up. He has a project called Gastown, and Gastown, that's exactly what it's trying to do. There's a bunch of agents where different agents have different everything. So from start to finish, this is a project. I have the idea. I wanted to go through and get the requirements and do all the coding and the testing. The AI comes back and checks with them and asks them different questions, and he makes those decisions. The AI comes back and it tries to execute on that. So one of the things he always jokes and says, he says, look, I'm making it open source. You can use it. I would advise you not to use it because it's crap right now, but this is what I'm working on. So there's a few people out there that's exactly what we're trying to do.
If AI made this presentation, we know this isn't just what it wants us to think.
I tell you what, this presentation came from a LinkedIn series that I did a couple of weeks ago. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, it's pretty entertaining. And what I've been doing is I decided in 2025, so January, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna be more visible. I want to talk about this stuff. I want to show people kind of like what's going on. So right, I'm usually talking about leadership. I'm talking about AI. A lot of my work has been, all right, I'm going to ChatGPT or Claude. I'm talking about this, and here's my thesis, and I have a personal story here. I need you to make this sound like me, right? And here's how I want to sound on LinkedIn. So it's my thoughts, but it's organized, by AI. So later, this was like maybe like 5 weeks ago now. I became convicted about just letting AI just write everything. And the reason why is because I felt myself, I was dodging the responsibility of writing because I never thought myself as a good writer, right? And I was like, nah, I can just talk my way through it. I don't want to have to write about it. I was like, no, I want to be a really good writer. So I went to Claude and I said, look, I'm gonna start writing my own LinkedIn posts, and I want you to be tough on me, but be kind, right? Be kind. And I'm going through, and about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I started, writing my own posts. Before it would take me like 20 minutes, and I have like the whole series like mapped out. Now it's taking me like an hour to to make one post, and I'm going through and I'm working with Claude, and Claude was like, "Wow, what the heck are you thinking? This makes no sense." I'm like, "Look, I told you to be kind." And so I'm going through and I'm getting better, and that experience and that taste is starting to build up now. When I created this series, this is all Brian's thoughts, where Claude is kind of like, no, think about this. What are you trying to say here? And I'm like, don't write it for me, just kind of guide me. And so this presentation is a collection of those 4 posts from that week. Now, what I'm not interested in graphic arts and design, and so I told it to just create images for me, so it did that. But these are all Brian's thoughts, but the images are not mine creating. Any other questions? Awesome. Cool. Right. But yeah, if anybody later on wants to talk about AI and how to get into coding with AI, you can definitely hit me up. Look for me on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find, but I love talking about this stuff. Yeah, and thank y'all so much for coming out. Kenny, thank you so much for keeping this going. And this is super important. So I'm glad you've been doing this for all this time.